Imagine standing at the edge of a tumultuous river. You see people struggling to cross. Some battle the current with all their might, while others seem to flounder, barely making an effort. Your instinct, driven by compassion, urges you to help. You throw ropes, extend hands, and tirelessly strive to pull them to safety. Yet over time, you notice a troubling pattern. Some people neither value your aid nor attempt to help themselves. Worse, a few even resent your intervention. Exhausted and disheartened, you begin to question, is my kindness being wasted? This is where the wisdom of Stoicism provides clarity. Stoic philosophy teaches us to act with reason, not emotion, and to channel our energy where it can yield the greatest good. Helping others is a noble pursuit, but it must be paired with discernment. Time, energy, and compassion are finite resources. To expend them on those who do not value or benefit from them is not virtue. It is folly. In this journey, we'll explore 8 types of people whom, according to Stoic principles, we should think twice before helping. Each type poses a unique challenge, draining our resources without fostering growth or change. Stay with us, for it is in the final type where the greatest lesson lies, a reflection on our own capacity for discernment and strength. 1. The irresponsible. Irresponsibility is a subtle yet destructive force. It manifests in those who consistently evade accountability for their actions, leaving others to bear the consequences of their negligence. But ask yourself, can you truly help someone who refuses to help themselves? Stoicism teaches that personal responsibility is the cornerstone of a virtuous life. Without it, growth is impossible. Consider the friend who repeatedly makes poor financial decisions, expecting you to bail them out each time, or the co-worker who shirks their duties, confident that you will step in to cover their mistakes. Each time you intervene, you reinforce their behavior. You may feel that your support is an act of kindness, but are you not, in fact, enabling their lack of accountability? The Stoics remind us that our actions should align with reason and virtue. By constantly rescuing the irresponsible, we deny them the opportunity to learn from their failures. Failure, after all, is a powerful teacher. It forces introspection, growth, and ultimately, change. When we shield others from the consequences of their actions, we rob them of these lessons. Reflect on this. Have you ever tried to help someone who ignored your guidance and continued down the same destructive path? How did it make you feel? Frustrated, drained? The truth is, no matter how much effort we pour into helping the irresponsible, the cycle will repeat until they choose to take control of their lives. Helping should be a bridge, not a crutch. When you assist someone who is willing to change, your efforts become a catalyst for their growth. But when your help is met with complacency or disregard, it is time to step back. As Epictetus, a great Stoic philosopher, once said, "You are a little soul carrying around a corpse. Do not let the burden of another's irresponsibility weigh down your own journey." In family life, it can be especially challenging to draw this line. We may feel a deep sense of obligation, a duty to shield our loved ones from hardship. But Stoicism teaches us that true love involves allowing others to face their trials and emerge stronger. By holding others accountable, we honor their potential for growth and protect our own peace. So, when faced with the irresponsible, ask yourself, am I truly helping, or am I merely prolonging their dependency? Your answer may guide you toward a path of greater wisdom and inner balance. And remember, walking away is not an act of cruelty. It is an act of clarity and respect for both yourself and the other. Would you agree that helping someone irresponsible often leads to more harm than good? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If this resonates with you, like this video and let us know your experiences. Let's reflect together as we move forward on this journey. Up next, we'll explore a type of person who twists the good intentions of others for their own gain. Stay tuned. 2. The Manipulators. Manipulation is a cunning art, practiced by those who seek to control and exploit others for their personal gain. These individuals rarely make direct requests. Instead, they twist emotions, distort situations, and skillfully pull strings to achieve their ends. Stoicism, with its emphasis on self-control and clear judgment, warns us against falling into the traps set by manipulators. But how often do we recognize manipulation for what it truly is? Consider this. Have you ever felt obligated to help someone, not because they asked outright, but because they made you feel guilty or responsible for their predicament? Perhaps a colleague subtly implies that your refusal to assist them would jeopardize their success. Or maybe a family member plays the victim, counting on your empathy to step in and fix their problems. In each case, your goodwill is weaponized, turned against you to serve their agenda. Stoicism teaches us that our power lies in our ability to discern and act according to reason. Manipulators thrive on blurring the lines between genuine need and self-serving deceit. They rely on your emotions, sympathy, guilt, or even fear to cloud your judgment. The more you give, the more they take, leaving you drained and questioning your own boundaries. Imagine a scenario where a friend consistently leans on you for financial support. They never ask directly, but often lament their struggles in your presence. You feel compelled to help, even though their behavior remains unchanged. Each time you provide assistance, they become more reliant on your support, while you grow increasingly burdened. Ask yourself, is this true generosity, or have you become a tool in their web of manipulation? One of the most high-profile examples of manipulation can be seen in the case of Britney Spears, whose father controlled her life for years under the guise of a conservatorship. This legal structure, meant to protect her, became a tool of manipulation. Stoic philosophy would urge us to see through such facades, to recognize when help is not truly help, but a means of control. When dealing with manipulators, the Stoics remind us to remain steadfast in our principles. Marcus Aurelius advises, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Helping a manipulator often means compromising your values and enabling their deceit. The antidote is clarity, seeing their actions for what they are and refusing to be swayed by emotional entanglement. Yet, turning away from a manipulator is not easy. They may retaliate with more subtle tactics, attempting to pull you back into their influence. But remember, true freedom lies in your ability to govern your own mind and actions. Stoicism equips us with the strength to resist these pressures and maintain our integrity. So, how can we protect ourselves from manipulators? The key is mindfulness. Before offering help, pause and reflect. Is this person genuinely in need, or are they seeking to exploit my kindness? By setting firm boundaries, we safeguard not only our peace, but also our capacity to help those who truly deserve it. Up next, we'll delve into the self-centered world of narcissists, another type of person who challenges our understanding of generosity. Stay tuned. 3. The Narcissists. Few people test the limits of our compassion like narcissists. These individuals view the world through a lens centered entirely on themselves. They crave attention and admiration, but lack empathy for others. In Stoicism, we are reminded that our energy should be spent on endeavors that align with virtue and reason. Helping a narcissist, however, often serves neither purpose. Think about this. Have you ever dealt with someone who only seeks help to reinforce their inflated sense of self? Perhaps a colleague constantly takes credit for your work, or a friend boasts endlessly about their achievements, dismissing any contributions you make to their success. When you offer constructive advice, they brush it aside, convinced of their own perfection. How does it feel to extend your hand only to have it ignored, or worse, used as a platform for their self-aggrandizement? Stoicism encourages us to act for the greater good, not for validation or recognition. However, narcissists often distort acts of kindness into mere extensions of their own greatness. They see your support not as a generous act, but as something they inherently deserve. Marcus Aurelius cautions us, "Do not waste what remains of your life in speculating about your neighbors, unless with a view to some mutual benefit." In other words, focus your efforts where they will truly matter. In personal relationships, helping a narcissist can lead to exhaustion and imbalance. Consider a romantic partner who constantly demands your attention but offers little in return. They monopolize conversations, steer every situation to highlight their importance, and dismiss your needs as trivial. Stoicism teaches us that relationships should be built on mutual respect and support, but with narcissists, this balance is often impossible to achieve. Professionally, narcissists can be equally draining. They seek the spotlight at every opportunity, often at the expense of others. If you assist them, your contributions may go unnoticed, buried under their relentless pursuit of personal glory. This not only hampers your growth, but also disrupts the harmony and productivity of your workplace. But what if the narcissist appears vulnerable? What if they feign insecurity to draw you in? Stoic wisdom advises caution. Epictetus reminds us, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Your reaction to their apparent vulnerability can either empower their toxic behavior or set a boundary that protects your peace. Helping a narcissist is like feeding an insatiable hunger. No matter how much you give, it will never be enough. The more you try to satisfy their needs, the more they will demand. Over time, this one-sided dynamic can erode your sense of self-worth and clarity. Stoicism calls us to preserve our inner tranquility and to recognize when our efforts are being exploited. So, how do we navigate these relationships? The answer lies in detachment. Acknowledge their behavior without letting it dictate your actions. Set firm boundaries and understand that your worth is not tied to their recognition or approval. By doing so, you reclaim your energy and redirect it toward those who genuinely value your support. Have you ever found yourself entangled with a narcissist? How did it impact your sense of self and your ability to help others? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if this insight resonates, like the video to support this conversation. Next, we'll explore the opportunists, those who seek to gain without giving. Stay with us as we continue this journey of Stoic reflection. 4. The Opportunists. Opportunists are masters of convenience. They appear when the rewards are ripe for the taking, but vanish when true effort or commitment is required. Stoicism, with its focus on virtue and sincerity, cautions against helping those who exploit others for personal gain. But how often do we recognize an opportunist before it's too late? Picture this: a colleague who consistently avoids team responsibilities but is the first to claim credit when a project succeeds. Or perhaps a friend who only shows up in your life when they need something, disappearing once their needs are met. Helping such individuals feels like watering a plant that only blooms when it benefits them, never contributing to the beauty of the garden as a whole. Stoicism teaches us to act with integrity and fairness. But when dealing with opportunists, our goodwill can become a tool for their self-serving agenda. Marcus Aurelius warns, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Part of being good, however, is discerning when our actions align with virtue and when they merely enable exploitation. In social circles, opportunists often masquerade as friends. They charm their way into your life, positioning themselves as supportive allies. Yet, when you need them most, they are conspicuously absent. Their loyalty extends only as far as their benefit. Does helping such a person advance your own growth or contribute to a greater good? Or does it merely feed their opportunistic tendencies? In the workplace, opportunists are equally pervasive. They may avoid hard work, attend only the most visible meetings, and strategically position themselves to reap rewards without contributing to the collective effort. By stepping in to support them, you may inadvertently marginalize those who genuinely deserve recognition. Helping an opportunist is like building a structure on shaky ground. No matter how solid your efforts, the foundation of their intentions is weak. Stoicism urges us to recognize these dynamics and to act accordingly. Epictetus reminds us, know first who you are and then adorn yourself accordingly. In other words, stay true to your values and be cautious about extending your help to those who will misuse it. How then do we handle opportunists in our lives? The key lies in maintaining clarity. Observe their patterns of behavior. Are they present in times of difficulty, or do they only appear when the rewards are evident? By understanding their motives, you can make informed decisions about where to place your trust and efforts. It's important to note that withdrawing support from an opportunist is not an act of hostility. It is an act of wisdom. Stoicism teaches us to focus our energy on endeavors that align with our principles and bring genuine value to our lives and the lives of others. By refusing to enable opportunists, we preserve our resources for those who truly need and appreciate them. Up next, we'll uncover the mindset of chronic critics, those who seem to find fault in every action, no matter how well-intentioned. Stay tuned for more Stoic wisdom. 5. The chronic critics. Criticism, when constructive, is a gift that helps us grow. But not all criticism comes from a place of good intention. Chronic critics are those who constantly find fault, not to improve, but to belittle and undermine. Stoicism teaches us to differentiate between helpful feedback and destructive negativity, urging us to avoid wasting our energy on those who only seek to tear us down. Consider this. Have you ever worked tirelessly on a project only to have someone dismiss your efforts with a string of petty critiques? Perhaps a friend constantly points out your flaws, or a colleague habitually downplays your contributions. Chronic critics thrive on negativity. Their aim is not to foster improvement, but to erode your confidence and dominate the conversation. Stoicism provides a framework for dealing with such individuals. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Chronic critics exploit this very tendency. They feed on our desire for external validation, sowing seeds of doubt and dissatisfaction. Helping chronic critics is like trying to fill a bottomless pit. No matter how much effort or goodwill you pour in, their perspective remains fixated on the negative. You might offer solutions or extend support, but their focus will always return to what you failed to do. Does such an interaction promote growth or drain your vitality? In personal relationships, chronic critics can be especially damaging. Imagine a family member who constantly judges your choices, from your career to your lifestyle. Instead of offering encouragement or constructive advice, they highlight every perceived shortcoming. Stoicism teaches us to seek inner tranquility, but chronic critics disrupt this peace, pulling us into their storm of dissatisfaction. In the workplace, chronic critics undermine team morale. They may nitpick your work, dismissing even your best efforts as insufficient. Their negativity can spread, creating an environment of fear and resentment. By engaging with their endless critiques, you risk losing sight of your own progress and values. But how should we respond? Stoicism advises us to remain centered. Epictetus reminds us, if someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. Chronic critics can only affect us if we allow their words to penetrate our sense of self. By recognizing their behavior for what it is, an expression of their own dissatisfaction, we can detach and maintain our peace. It's essential to set boundaries with chronic critics. Politely but firmly, you can decline to engage in their cycle of negativity. Redirect your energy toward those who offer constructive support and value your contributions. Remember, your worth is not defined by the opinions of others, especially those who fail to see the good in your efforts. Now, let's hear from you. Have you encountered chronic critics in your life? How have their words affected you, and what strategies have you used to protect your peace? Share your experiences in the comments, and if you found this discussion helpful, like the video to support our Stoic journey. Next, we'll turn our attention to the envious, whose inner turmoil can manifest as resentment toward the success of others. Join us as we explore how Stoicism helps us navigate this challenging dynamic. 6. The envious. Envy is a silent poison, corroding both the person who harbors it and those around them. Envious individuals are not content with their own achievements. Instead, they measure their worth by the success or perceived superiority of others. Stoicism warns us to guard our peace against such toxic influences. But how do we identify and respond to envy in a way that aligns with wisdom and virtue? Have you ever shared a personal victory only to be met with coldness or subtle hostility? Perhaps you noticed a friend or colleague downplaying your success, shifting the conversation to highlight their own accomplishments. Envious people often disguise their resentment, masking it with feigned indifference or backhanded compliments. But their true feelings are revealed in their inability to celebrate the achievements of others. Stoicism teaches us that external validation should never dictate our sense of self. Marcus Aurelius wisely observed, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Envious individuals, however, are trapped in a cycle of comparison, unable to find peace within themselves. By helping them, we risk becoming entangled in their bitterness, their dissatisfaction infecting our own pursuit of inner harmony. Consider the workplace, where envy can run rampant. A colleague might sabotage your efforts, subtly undermine your ideas in meetings, or spread rumors to diminish your reputation. Their actions stem not from a desire to improve, but from a deep-seated insecurity. Helping such individuals, whether by trying to mend the relationship or offering support, often backfires. They may interpret your goodwill as condescension, further fueling their resentment. In personal relationships, envy can be equally destructive. Imagine a friend who consistently downplays your accomplishments, shifting focus back to their struggles or aspirations. Over time, their inability to celebrate your successes erodes the foundation of trust and mutual respect. Stoicism encourages us to choose our companions wisely, surrounding ourselves with those who uplift rather than diminish us. But how should we respond to the envious? The first step is understanding. As Epictetus said, "It is not the things themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about these things." Envy arises from a flawed perception, a belief that someone else's success diminishes their own worth. While we cannot change their perspective, we can control our reaction. By refusing to engage with their negativity, we maintain our peace and clarity. Setting boundaries is crucial. Protect your energy by limiting interactions with those who consistently project envy. Redirect conversations toward mutual growth and shared goals, but do not hesitate to distance yourself if their resentment persists. Remember, your journey is your own, and it is not your responsibility to alleviate the inner turmoil of others at the expense of your well-being. Reflect on this. Have you ever been the target of someone's envy? How did it affect your sense of achievement, and what steps did you take to safeguard your peace? Next, we'll examine a different but equally challenging type of individual, the ungrateful. Their inability to appreciate the help they receive can drain even the most generous among us. Stay with us as we continue to delve into the teachings of Stoicism. 7. The ungrateful. Gratitude is often called the mother of all virtues. It binds communities together, fosters trust, and uplifts the spirit of both the giver and the receiver. Yet, the ungrateful among us disrupt this harmony, turning acts of kindness into sources of frustration. Stoicism reminds us that while we should act virtuously, we must also recognize when our efforts are wasted on those who refuse to appreciate them. Have you ever extended a helping hand only to be met with silence or indifference? Perhaps a colleague frequently seeks your assistance but never acknowledges your efforts, or a friend regularly leans on you for support yet never shows even a hint of appreciation. How does it feel when your goodwill is taken for granted, or worse, when it becomes an expectation rather than a gift? Stoicism teaches that our actions should stem from virtue, not a desire for recognition. As Seneca wrote, "He who receives a benefit with gratitude repays the first installment on his debt." But when gratitude is absent, the dynamic shifts. Instead of mutual upliftment, the act of helping becomes a one-sided drain on your energy and spirit. Ungrateful individuals often operate under a sense of entitlement. They view your assistance as their due, not as a generous offering. This mindset erodes the natural balance of give and take that fosters genuine human connection. Imagine helping someone tirelessly, only to be met with criticism or complaints that your help wasn't good enough. Stoic philosophy warns us against such futility. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." In this case, the injury is their ingratitude, and our response should be to act wisely, not allowing their lack of appreciation to affect our peace. In modern life, ungrateful individuals are everywhere. Consider a family member who continually asks for financial support without ever acknowledging your sacrifices, or a coworker who relies on your expertise but never credits your contributions. Helping such people often leads to resentment, a clear sign that our assistance has deviated from Stoic principles of rational and purposeful action. But does this mean we should stop helping altogether? Not at all. Stoicism encourages us to offer help where it will be valued and where it can make a meaningful difference. The key is discernment. Before offering your time, energy, or resources, ask yourself, will this act of kindness foster growth and connection, or will it be absorbed into a void of entitlement and ingratitude? Reflect on the story of Jesus healing the 10 lepers, as mentioned earlier. Only one returned to express gratitude. Even in acts of profound generosity, ingratitude can be prevalent. This story underscores a vital Stoic lesson. We must accept that not everyone will value our help, and that's okay. Our duty is not to please everyone, but to act in accordance with virtue and reason. How should we respond to the ungrateful? First, by managing our expectations. Offer help without attaching your sense of worth to their response. Second, set boundaries. If someone's ingratitude becomes a pattern, reconsider where you direct your energy. Remember, as Epictetus taught, do not try to cover a greater area than your abilities. Walk as nature prescribes, and you will succeed. Now, we want to hear from you. Have you experienced the draining effects of helping someone ungrateful? How did it change your approach to offering assistance? Share your stories in the comments, and if this message resonates, like the video to show your support. Up next, we'll explore a type of person whose passivity and avoidance of responsibility test even the most patient among us: the lazy. Join us as we continue uncovering Stoic insights on when and whom we should help. 8. The lazy. Laziness is a quiet thief of time and potential. Those who succumb to it not only hinder their own progress, but also drain the energy and resources of those who try to help them. Stoicism teaches us the value of purposeful action and reminds us that time, once wasted, can never be reclaimed. When we repeatedly help those who refuse to act, we risk squandering our own finite resources on a futile cause. Have you ever encountered someone who constantly complains about their circumstances but refuses to take any steps toward improvement? Perhaps a friend who laments their job situation but never applies for new positions, or a family member who dreams of better health but avoids exercise and a healthy diet. You offer advice, encouragement, even tangible help, but they remain stuck in their inertia. How long before you begin to feel frustrated, even resentful? Stoicism emphasizes the importance of self-discipline and effort. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, challenges are opportunities for growth, but the lazy reject this notion. They avoid responsibility, seeking comfort in stagnation and excuses. Helping such individuals often means perpetuating their passivity rather than inspiring meaningful change. Consider the analogy of pushing a car stuck in neutral. No matter how hard you push, the vehicle won't move unless its engine is engaged. Similarly, helping a lazy person requires their willingness to take the first step. Without their effort, your assistance becomes an exercise in futility. In the workplace, lazy colleagues can create imbalance and resentment. They may offload their tasks onto others, relying on the diligence of their peers to cover their inaction. If you repeatedly step in, you not only burden yourself but also reinforce their behavior. This dynamic disrupts the harmony of a team and prevents the lazy individual from developing their own skills and accountability. In personal relationships, laziness can be equally draining. Imagine a partner who neglects shared responsibilities, leaving you to manage everything. Over time, their inaction erodes trust and partnership. Stoicism teaches us that relationships should be built on mutual effort and respect. When one party consistently fails to contribute, the relationship suffers. But how should we approach laziness in others? Stoic philosophy advises us to focus on what we can control, our own actions and responses. Epictetus reminds us, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." If someone is unwilling to acknowledge their role in their stagnation, no amount of external help will change their situation. Instead of repeatedly offering help, shift your focus to encouraging self-reliance. Provide guidance and support only when the other person demonstrates a genuine willingness to act. Set boundaries to protect your energy and ensure that your efforts are directed toward those who will value and use them effectively. Reflect on this. Have you ever found yourself exhausted from trying to help someone who simply refused to help themselves? What did you learn from that experience? As we conclude our exploration of these 8 types of people, remember that Stoicism teaches us to act with wisdom and intention. Not everyone will appreciate or benefit from our help, and that's okay. In the next section, we'll reflect on the broader Stoic lessons from these encounters and how to apply them to our lives. Stay with us as we bring it all together. We've now explored 8 types of people who, according to Stoic philosophy, are unworthy of our help. The irresponsible, the manipulators, the narcissists, the opportunists, the chronic critics, the envious, the ungrateful, and the lazy. Each of these groups presents unique challenges, but they all share a common thread: their inability or unwillingness to grow from the assistance offered to them. Stoicism teaches us that our energy and time are precious, and we must allocate them wisely. Helping others is one of life's greatest virtues, but it is not without limits. Marcus Aurelius urges us to act for the common good, yet he also reminds us to act rationally. He wrote, "Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good." Goodness involves helping where it can truly make a difference, not where it will be squandered. Through these reflections, we see that discernment is a form of wisdom. It's not unkind to set boundaries or to step away from situations where your help is neither valued nor effective. In fact, doing so protects your inner peace, and ensures that your resources are available for those who truly need and appreciate them. But how can we apply these lessons in our daily lives? Start by asking yourself these key Stoic questions whenever you're called upon to help. Will my assistance enable growth and positive change? Is this person genuinely seeking improvement, or are they relying on me to carry their burdens? Am I acting out of virtue, or am I driven by guilt, obligation, or a desire for recognition? By examining your motives and the potential impact of your actions, you align yourself with the Stoic principle of rational, purposeful living. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of reflection. Each day presents an opportunity to assess your actions and refine your approach. Have you ever offered help to someone who fell into one of these 8 categories? What was the outcome, and how did it affect your well-being? Share your thoughts in the comments. We want to learn from your experiences. If this exploration of Stoic wisdom has resonated with you, show your support by liking this video. Your engagement helps spread these timeless teachings to a wider audience. And if you haven't already, subscribe to join our community of seekers striving for a life of virtue, clarity, and purpose. As you navigate your journey, remember that true kindness lies not in saying yes to every request, but in offering your help where it will uplift and empower. By embracing Stoicism, you cultivate the strength to act wisely and the courage to walk away when necessary. If you found value in today's discussion, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with friends or family who might benefit from Stoic insights. Together, we can build a community grounded in wisdom and virtue. Thank you for joining us on this path of discovery. May you find clarity in your decisions, peace in your boundaries, and fulfillment in your actions. Stay Stoic, and we'll see you in the next lesson.